I swear my shirt was ironed. It looks so wrinkly on camera, but I ironed my shirt. I just wore my seatbelt a couple of times, and I hate when I get this. It makes it look like I don't iron my stuff. But today's video, we're talking about LLCs and why you might need one, and we're gonna talk about how you create one. So let's get started. So before we continue with the video, I just wanted to quickly let you guys know that if you want to ask questions live about dropshipping, then just make sure to subscribe and follow me on Instagram, where I'll be posting when I'll go live. I've just decided to go live just randomly whenever I have a chance. I try to make time for it, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. So I'll be notifying people there, or I'll be notifying you guys there, so that you could join me when I go live and you could come and ask questions. A question that a lot of beginners tend to have and they message me about is LLC. So I just thought I'd make a video addressing it. And LLCs are just a way for you to separate your personal assets from your business assets. So in simple terms, that's what it's there for. It's so that if you get sued, or if you consume a lot of debt or get into a lot of debt and you can't pay it off, and let's just say that the bank has to collect all your personal assets or collect all your assets, they only collect the assets from your business and not from your person, or not your personal assets. So if you own a car and your business doesn't own a car, they can't take that car because it's a personal asset. It's not part of the business. But if that car was part of the business, they could take it in order to recoup their losses. That would be if you were collecting debt. If you were getting sued and they were trying to sue you for money or trying to sue you for certain stuff, then they can't go after your personal belongings. They could only go after what belongs to the company or the company that they're suing. For example, if you're selling helmets, you might want to create an LLC right off the bat. Now, I don't know why you want to sell that, because that's a lot of risk that you're taking. But if you decide to go that route, you would want to get an LLC for that. Because if something happens to the person who bought the helmet and the helmet doesn't really protect them, or if they found out that the helmet was faulty, they could go after your personal assets or after your business or sue you just because you were selling a faulty product. And if you don't have an LLC, they're going to be able to go after your personal belongings. So that LLC gives you that protection. Now, I don't recommend that you sell helmets or dropship helmets, but that's if you're going into a business that has a high potential of being sued. You should also create an LLC if you feel like you're going to get into a lot of debt, but I don't feel like that applies to a lot of e-commerce business, so I'm not really going to touch on that subject. But if you're not making any money yet, if you're not making any sales, and if you're not in a business that has a high potential of being sued, you don't need to create an LLC. You could just be fine with a sole proprietorship. But if you do want to, just to have that extra protection, do not create an LLC right off the bat. Wait until you're profitable and then create an LLC. The reason you want to do that is because they charge you a $800 fee or a tax fee every year for having an LLC. And you also have to pay to file for an LLC. So if you're creating multiple businesses, or you could actually set up as doing business as under one LLC. But if you wanted to separate every one of them, you'd have to create an LLC for every business, which again, I would not recommend, especially if you're just drop shipping and you're not in a business that has a high potential of being sued. The way that you go ahead and file is that you have to file with your state. Every state is different. I can't give you guys an example for every single state, but just know that every state is different. It's a little bit different. In some places, they allow you to fill it online, which in California they do, and that's what I'm going to be showing you guys. And in other states, you might have to mail it, or you might have to go in person. And the way that you find this form is just by going to the Secretary of State website and then grabbing the form from there, or filling it out from there. So let's go ahead and do that. So every website's a little bit different depending on the state, but what you want to do is search for the business section, and under the business section, just look for limited liability companies. Since we're in California, we're going to do domestic here. So Form LLC 1, and you also have to file Form LLC 12, which is the statement of information. What this does is it basically keeps all the information that's part of the LLC up to date. So you have to fill this out after 90 days of creating an LLC. So this is why I recommend that you guys are making money before filing for an LLC. So don't do it right off the bat, especially if you have no experience with dropshipping. So let's go ahead and file the Form LLC 1. And we see here that the filing fee is $70, certificate copy fee is $5, so your total is about $75 to file in California. Keep in mind that every state is different. I've seen some go $125, some even higher. So your state might be a little bit different, might be a little bit cheaper, might be a little bit more expensive. You just have to check with your state. And then it's very simple, just click on start. And it's gonna tell you here that all the information that you fill out here is gonna be made public. So that's phone numbers, email addresses, names, and all that. That's gonna be made public. So if you don't want certain information out in the public, make sure you don't add it on here, because everything that you file for your LLC will be made public. Then you're just gonna have to go through the process here of entering the name, business address, service, You just make sure that you're the individual because you're filling it out, unless you're having somebody else fill it out for you. But I mean, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you're gonna fill it out. Then management, organizer. And once you're done filling this out, you're just gonna have to review it, make sure that all your information is correct, and then just submit the payment information. And then that's it, you're good to go. Now, I'm not gonna fill everything out here for you because I don't need to file an LLC, and most of these things are self-explanatory because it's just asking you for basic information. So that's pretty much how you file for an LLC in California. Again, guys, every state is different. I'm not gonna be able to cover every state because I don't live in every state. But yeah, guys, just make sure that you visit your Secretary of State's website and then file for an LLC there. Again, every state is a little bit different. So some of you guys might not be able to file it online and some of you guys might. And you don't have to pay for a company like LegalZoom or stuff like that to do it for you, because you're just gonna pay an extra $100 for no reason, because that's typically what they charge, 50 or 100 just for filing it for you. And if it's this simple, honestly, guys, you don't need to pay that extra money. So that's pretty much that, guys. Like I said, you don't all need an LLC. You only need an LLC when you really have something to lose, when your personal assets are in the line and you're in a business that has a high potential of being sued. If you're not making any money, if you're just getting started, if this is your first store, do not create an LLC. Just stick with the sole proprietorship. You're gonna be just fine.